Devin Haney will not mean as much as a win over those other two names. I don't want to keep saying their names because we're not focused.
We talking about stopping him though.
Yeah, but if
that's
you
a
stop
different
him,
story.
Yeah, Ryan almost stopped him.
Almost.
But you'll be fighting him after somebody damaged him. That's different. Didn't
he just have one of his greatest performances?
I know, but there's some damage there. We saw Roy Jones. We saw the best of him.
Right. What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, and I'm back at y'all with another one. So as you just heard, hip-hop mogul, platinum artist, Mase, who has the show with Cameron. It is what it is. They had former WBO lightweight world champion, superstar boxer, Keyshawn the Businessman Davis, 14 wins, no loss, no draw, 10 wins by way of knockout, on the show. And they asked Keyshawn Davis about fighting first ballot Hall of Famer, undefeated 3-division world champion, former undisputed lightweight, former WBC junior welterweight, and reigning WBO welterweight world champion, superstar boxer, Devin the Dream Haney, as you heard. Devin Haney, 33 wins, no loss, no draw, 15 wins by way of knockout. And you heard Keyshawn say if he fights Devin Haney, he's going to stop Devin Haney. And Mase is saying, if you stop Devin Haney, it doesn't mean anything because we already seen Devin Haney get stopped. Well, nearly get stopped by Ryan Garcia. And Devin Haney is damaged goods. Keyshawn, as you heard, says, we just seen Devin Haney have the best performance of his career, arguably. And he says, that don't mean anything. He still almost got stopped by Ryan Garcia. What? Mase, you my guy. You my guy, you know you my guy. Bruh. Y'all gotta stop, man. I know you fans of the sport of boxing, but y'all don't understand the sport of boxing, man. It's abundantly clear you don't understand the sport of boxing, bro. You compared Roy Jones getting knocked out by Antonio Tarver, brutally knocked out by Antonio Tarver, to Devin Haney and saying that Antonio Tarver destroyed Roy Jones and Roy Jones from there forward was damaged goods. You don't understand. For one, Roy Jones was damaged goods when he depleted his body to move down in weight after gaining 25 pounds of muscle in his 30s. Devin Haney just turned 27. Okay? Devin Haney didn't get brutally knocked out. He got dropped. Yes, he took punishment in the fight, but he didn't get brutally knocked out. He got dropped. He didn't get stopped. Almost don't count. He didn't get stopped. Roy got knocked out. Cold. Then Roy fought again the next fight against Glenn Johnson and got knocked out cold. One punch. You know why? Because his punch resistance was no longer there. Roy Jones depleted his body, moving up to heavyweight and then cutting 25 pounds of muscle to go back down to 175, and his punch resistance was gone, and he was in his mid-30s. And like Roy said, he should have already retired. He shouldn't have went back down the fight. He was already done. It's just that we come to know Roy Jones as Superman. But the fact remains is that Roy Jones depleted his physical form already before he got in there with Antonio Tarver and got knocked out. Then he tried to prove it to himself and the world and come back, and he kept getting knocked out because his punch resistance was already gone. If you look at Roy Jones, when he fought Antonio Tarver the first time, which people don't pay attention to, is you see he was sluggish in that fight. And he didn't take no punishment against Ruiz. He was done. He arguably lost the first fight to Antonio Tarver before he got knocked out in the second fight. That's what you're not paying attention to. Roy Jones was done in the first fight. He had no energy. He didn't have the same zip on his punches, didn't have the same reflexes, didn't have the same power. Roy was done in the first fight with Antonio Tarver. And that's why Roy says, I should have retired after the first fight. As a matter of fact, I should have retired before the first fight. I should have never fought Antonio Tarver, but he called me out. He was already done. That's not the same case as Devin Haney. Devin Haney's not in his mid-30s. He's not already depleted. It's not the same thing. Devin Haney got dropped, yes, but he didn't get knocked out. Floyd took a lot of punishment against Chop Chop Corley. Do your homework. Floyd took a lot of punishment in the fight with Emmanuel Augustus. He didn't get dropped, but he nearly got dropped. So Floyd wasn't done. Look at those fights and the punishment Floyd took. Nose bleeding, everything. Why? Because Floyd won, you don't say, well, he was damaged goods. No, he bounced back. Because Devin Haney didn't win, he was in there with a cheetah. Yeah, you can't undo and unsee the physical punishment you took, but he got dropped. He still won the fight after getting dropped. When you look at the fight, outside of the knockdowns, he still outboxed Ryan Garcia. So if he was damaged goods, he would have been done. The rounds he got dropped in, he still was able to get up and still outbox Ryan. That tells you everything you need to know. And arguably, that's why Ryan only won a split decision with 3 knockdowns. Make that make sense. So he's not done. And he's not damaged goods. And he was in there with a puncher that's as big as a puncher as Keyshawn, if not bigger, in Brian Norman Jr. And Devin got hit by Brian Norman Jr. And he did not flinch. He did not, his legs wasn't noodles. He didn't fall, he didn't get knocked down. No, he ate the punch. So what indication do you have that he's damaged goods? He won 2 fights convincingly after the Ryan Garcia situation. As a matter of fact, Ryan looked worse than Devin in the comeback than Devin did. We got to stop, man. We got to start doing our homework. Roy Jones was already damaged goods before he got knocked out by Tarver in the second fight. You forgot that he fought Antonio Tarver the first time. And he looked like damaged goods the first time, and he didn't have any punishment from anybody. He had that loss because it was disqualification. But you look at the first fight with Antonio Tarver, he looked terrible. He had no energy. He looked depleted. He had no pop. The zip was gone. He looked like a shell of himself in the first fight with Antonio Tarver, and that's why everybody said that they thought he lost the first fight with Antonio Tarver. And that's why Antonio Tarver said the famous words to Roy Jones in the second fight, do you got any excuses tonight, Roy? Because Roy said, I was depleted. I was a shell of myself. But his pride didn't let him retire because people were saying he lost the first fight. And he was Superman. So his pride and his competitive nature saw him make the second fight. And then we know the rest is history. So it's not the same thing. You got to do your homework, family. And I love you, Mase. But you're wrong, brother. Y'all wrong, man. And that's all I got for y'all. Follow me on Instagram at Blueblood Sports TV. All one word. I'm gone. Peace.